Om. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahe Tejas Vinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Yapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Narshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Can we switch off the mantra that's playing? Yeah. There you go. So we're using the verses of the Gita to help us find our path. And often we think it's different paths for everyone, but not really. Right? All of us are essentially divine, and we are having this physical experience in the body. And so very many things are the same for all of us. And most of us are seeking peace, love, joy. So the path's going to be the same. Even though we may think there's slight variations, essence is the same. So we saw yesterday the very first verse that Krishna said, where he talks about Kashmalamidam, where is this dirt coming from? And we saw those qualities of being Aryan, being worthy of heaven, and we saw Kirti, having that sense of character that brings praise to us. We see that soon after that, Arjuna asked the question, which then starts the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna's question is, Karpanya doshopahata swabhava, that I'm clouded, I'm confused, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what to do. And so tell me very clearly. And the word he uses is Shreyas. Tell me what is Shreyas. Now he doesn't say, what should I do? Because actually that's quite clear. It's a war, on the battlefield, the first arrow has effectively been shot. You don't need to know what to do. Okay? And very often in our lives as well, what to do is, sure, we have a choice of what to do, but work, right? Or in the relationship, whatever responsibility that we have, fulfill. Usually the confusion is in dealing with all the emotions of, as we mentioned yesterday, I don't want to, or this is unfair, or how nice it would be if it was something different. than what it is. This is another thing. We live in this reality, and we live in our own semi-fantasy worlds. In our semi-fantasy worlds, it's not the way it is right here, it's the way we want it to be. And in that semi-fantasy world of me being free from this person, me being free from this problem, me being free from a certain personality trait, or maybe a physical trait, it's not. It's simply dreaming. This world that goes on in our head. It's just me dreaming. And that's why so much of spirituality is wake up. And it's not that we fast asleep physically, it's that we are dreaming while awake. And then sometimes perpetuated by extra time in our lives. You're sitting in traffic, or waiting for the elevator, waiting for a flight. There's nothing much to do. Dream. Daydream about desires, or about possible scenarios, or about... It's sometimes so unrealistic, sometimes realistic. We're just amending things that we want happening in our lives. So not, what should I do? Because if we are awake and alert and present, what needs to be done right now is fairly clear. Yeah. And some decision might need to be made, and even that, fairly clear. What's not clear is, what is best? Or how best? So Shreyas, the word Shreyas, comes even in Katha Upanishad. And really a word to live, like what our path is, which path should we walk? Shreyas. Now, the opposite of Shreyas, also well known, Prayas. And I'm going to do it very quickly because it's something that's basic and most of you would have heard it before. Prayas is when we give in to something which is immediately gratifying, and then later on you pay. So something like you overeat, and then food coma. You feel so lethargic. And then that lethargy can last quite long, right? And this is not even a health issue. This is just food coma, uncomfortable. If you have an health issue, then the ripple effect can be even worse. Or something like you finished episode 2 of whatever it is you are currently watching, and then they always leave on a cliffhanger. So you play 3, then you play 4, then you play 5. And then it's 4:30 in the morning. Hey, how did it become 4:30 in the morning? Of course, it's going to be 4:30 in the morning. Each episode is that long. And some people try to watch it on 1.5 speed to make it go faster so that you don't. But it's still going to be that long. And then, you're so tired, and then you're so irritable, and then you're so... And then it takes 3 whole days to get back into your sleep pattern. So immediate pleasure, and then long term, well, it's not suffering, but it's suffering. Discomfort, inconvenience, prayers, which we're doing all the time. And I think we do it the most with our mobile phones. I'll just finish this. And we just give in to it so quickly. Someone's talking to us also when it beeps, and they're talking. And we all so guilty of it, right? It's prayers. It's that endorphin hit we get when the phone beeps and we think we wanted, we liked. Or we're just curious, what is it? What kind of stimulation is it offering me right now? And then we don't see the long-term effect of that as evidently. Like if I stayed up, I can see the discomfort immediately the next day in my fatigue. But with the phone, we don't see that we just get more and more addicted. we just become more and more impersonal with each other and insensitive to each other. And we almost numbed because it's happening slowly. Yeah. We numb to the effect of the discomfort, disadvantage, desensitization of who we are as social beings. Shreyas is the exact opposite. Shreyas is immediate discipline, which might require control, not giving in. It might require exerting, and then we reap the benefits of it. So exercise is a great one for this. And for those of you who listen to me regularly, y'all know I don't like to exercise. But this is something we must do. And then because my dislike for exercise is quite significant, I don't do it on my own. But because I know I don't do it on my own, I have a teacher come to the ashram and ring the doorbell to remind me and make me do the class. And so often I'll open the door and I'll be like, no, why did you come? Like, you told me to come? She's so used to me, it doesn't even faze her anymore. So this immediate oh, now I have to exercise. And then of course, after the class, you feel great. I feel great. Okay? Anyone who's exercised, after the class, we feel good. The body feels better. You feel you did something you should have done. Right? And of course, endorphins are released, so your mood will have improved. So initially you don't want to, but you do it, and then you feel better. Or some conversation you need to have with someone, and you keep postponing, you don't want to have that conversation. You have the conversation, it's difficult, you might have to smile or be awkward for a while, and then it's done. Phew. So immediate, I'm not going to say pain, maybe it's not pleasure. Immediate is effort. Immediate, or sometimes don't eat something, don't do something, don't go somewhere, don't press the next button on the Netflix, don't control, switch off all the buttons, switch off the Wi-Fi also. That's effort, and then the benefit of it. Now, we already know this. This is not something I have to explain elaborately. And we also already know that even though we know what's right to do, it's harder to do what's right. Even though we feel the benefits of doing what's right, it's easy to stop doing it. So mean. We benefiting, we enjoying it, and it's so easy to slip. And the other one is also true. It's so easy to keep doing what is not as beneficial, and it's really hard to change from that to what is beneficial. It's really easy to stop doing what's good, and it's really hard to start doing what's good. So, it's almost like the system is rigged. So what does Arjuna ask? Tell me what is Shreyas. What is best? Not what is easy, but what is best. And so for us too, what is best? Recently, a lot of the social media trends in public speaking has used this word, being our authentic self. I'm sure you've heard this, right? Be your authentic self. I'm not sure exactly what that means when people say that. Because when we say be your authentic self in the Western way of thinking, which self? Because in Our scriptures, we know that we are more than one person. Right? Physically, we have this body, and we are physical beings. We need to eat, need to stay warm, need to exercise, need to sleep. Yeah. Of course, each one, different amounts, quantities, etc. We are social beings, very much so. We need each other, we need relationships. We need to feel needed. We like to feel wanted. Yeah. We are social beings. We enjoy connection. Yeah. It makes things significant. It gives life depth. Yeah. And we are also spiritual beings. Which one's our authentic self? Because they don't always want to do the same thing. Right? Physical body will want to enjoy. Food, eat. Spiritual being might think, no. Today is, actually this month is Purushottam month. Or it could be Ekadashi, it could be Janmashtami. No, today do not eat fast. Today is a day to do tapas, to think of the Lord, to sacrifice, to endure. So, today I'm fasting. Now this is both me. I genuinely, as a devotee, want to be fasting and increase my spiritual progress and do some form of tapas. Eyes are looking at the food in front of me, and the body genuinely, authentically wants to eat. What's this, be your authentic self? Which one? Which one's my authentic self here? Interesting when the Western world uses these terms and how they use them. And then we are very interesting as Indians. We just happily go along with it. They said it must be true. It's in vogue. So we will also go around saying now, we have to be authentic. When weren't we authentic? When we copy them. In my understanding, it tends to be describing our personality. Be your authentic self means your personality. As I mentioned yesterday, our personalities are not frozen in stone. If you look back on your life, I'm sure you've changed. Yeah. And so again, this be your authentic self. When we're choosing what to do, Shreyas, no need for you to be your personality. Be what is best for everyone. I'll give an example to make it more clear. Let's say my personality is someone who is very spontaneous and will just say what comes into their mind. Now there's an intense situation. It may be family member, something significant has happened. Maybe some health crisis in the family. Maybe some financial crisis in the family. Or, maybe the kid got caught by the cops for doing something very dodgy. Intense situation in the family going on. And then that personality of just say whatever you want to, that comes into your mind, and then, that's me now, that's who I am, I'm highly emotional. Don't be yourself. It's going to make the situation worse. Think carefully and then contribute to the conversation. Shreyas. Yeah. It could even be that somebody is very stern and strict and, this is right and this is wrong. And so then they were going, in this same situation, this is right and this is wrong and that's that. No. What's the best for this situation? And the word Shreyas is beautiful. It's not what's best for me. It's what's best for everyone in this situation. And so often it's easy to work out what's best for me because then this makes my life easier. But best for everyone tends to make life a little bit difficult. Because best for everyone means I have to a little bit endure, a little bit sacrifice, a little bit, put aside my comforts. Be supportive, be encouraging, be understanding, be forgiving, be patient, be accepting. Work. What's best for everyone tends to be a little bit more work. Tends to be. Yeah. And then it's not even just best for everyone who I can see. It's best for everyone. Even the ones I can't see. In the judicial system, when they pass a law in a case that hasn't come before, the word is used precedent. Precedent means that when they rule on a case, then now this is the way they've ruled, it sets the next law. Now every case that comes with the same kind of situation, they follow the previous one. Yeah. We do that socially also. Yeah. In some families, something happened. Maybe it was an illness. They kept it a secret. What do? We follow. Yeah. Some family, there was some difficulty between person X and person Y, and they stopped talking to each other. And then it becomes a option for other people to copy. And we think, that's got nothing to do with me. They own people, let them make their own decisions. Shreyas. Shreyas means what is good for everyone. Yeah. Sometimes hard to do. I'll give a non-emotional example. Emotional examples are charged, so I'll give a non-emotional example. Maybe about 10 years ago, maybe longer. 15 years ago, global warming had already become well known. We need to change the way we are living our lives because the planet is not coping with the current way in which we are doing things. 15 years ago, if you remember, marriage invitations would come in this minimum, this size, and then it would be hard covered, and then there'd be shiny paper, which was quite thick for every event. Y'all all remember this? So, firstly, very expensive. But never mind that. That's so much paper wasted. It's not thin paper, it's thick paper. And then printed with gloss, so now you cannot recycle it. Yeah. Plus, they're going to throw it in the bin. And when they get to the wedding, they're asking each other, what time do we have to be there again? Who's looking at that card? What was the purpose of that card? To inform you about the event. Yeah. That's the purpose of the card. It became more than that, but the purpose of the card was to inform you of the event. So, I said to one family who was very, not here in Jakarta, I all through, I travel, not that much also, but I travel. So a very prominent family, very, very well-known family. I said to them, make an e-card. Don't print for your wedding. They looked at me. Because Swamini, you can't say anything straight away. They just first looked at me and I said, you know, everyone looks up to you guys. You're the trendsetters. Everybody already knows you have lots of money. So you make the e-card, then it will become the next trend. Stop wasting all this paper. Do it for the environment. They looked at me long and hard. To their credit, they considered it. They made fancy card this big with thick paper. Very beautiful. It was very beautiful. It went into everybody's dustbins. Today, we send e-card, right? What is Shreyas? I look good, I follow the fashion, I help to change a trend which becomes good for the environment, even so cost-effective and easier. When I'm going to the party, I'm not going to hunt around for the card. I look at my phone only. What time is it? It fulfills all the criterias. It's Shreyas. Yeah. Why didn't we do what is Shreyas? Why it took so long? Desire for something else. And sometimes it's not even desire, sometimes it's pressure. I don't want to, but everybody expects it of me, but then I want to fulfill what everyone expects of me, so it becomes desire. I want to fit in, I want to get the recognition. I want to have that tick that I did. Often it's the tick, right? And even today with these proposals, this madness of proposals, they've been dating 3 years, we know they're going to get married. What is this proposal all about? Is she really going to say no? Is it Shreyas? It could be, it could not be. Yeah. Shreyas is, I start thinking more than me and mind to everybody, and then not just my family, to the implications that we each have in the totality of things. Each one of us are connected into total mind. Ishvara principle is every single one of us put together plus, 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 plus. Every thought, every single one of us think is in total mind. And then collectively all the thoughts we think, whichever becomes the predominant thought, becomes the psyche of that area. Becomes the culture of that area, becomes the vibe of that area. There's definitely a collective psyche that we are all plugged into, and we contribute to it, and it contributes to us. It works both ways. Yeah. If any of you have traveled to Hong Kong, the minute you get off the flight, you will walk faster. In Hong Kong, you cannot walk slow. If you walk slow, people glare at you as they walk past you. The collective psyche in Hong Kong is you walk at a beat. You get off the flight in Jakarta and you leisurely stroll. There's a collective psyche. We are all plugged into total mind. So, total mind is affecting us. What's the current fashion? What's the current slang words? What's the current opinion? So often people will voice out their opinion. It's not their opinion. It's an opinion that they heard that they're recycling. But each one of us also contributes to total mind. As much as I'm influenced by total mind, I contribute to total mind. So when I am present, when I am consciously saying things, consciously doing things, consciously making choices, I am adding that energy, that presence, that love, that intention into conscious mind. Total mind. Right? When I'm thinking, what is Shreyas? It's not just for me. It's my contribution into total mind. Every one of us get home and we're tired and lazy, now don't want to do anything. Laziness gets contributed into total mind. Each one of us feel we've had enough and we think, now I don't care. I don't care gets added into total mind. If each one of us care, if each one of us puts in effort, that gets added to total mind, right? I think there's few countries where they it's almost positive social pressure in each other. When I visit Australia, they don't have one dustbin. It's like 5 dustbins. Throwing out your garbage in Australia is serious business. I forget the name of it, but they have one where you throw fruit skins, food. It goes into the compost, but they have some fancy name for it. The bin. Because they have 5, right? Then, plastic, of course, goes into 1. Bottles goes into glass, gets recycled separately. Oh, and you look at us. What are we doing? Whereas there, they're so diligent. If I put something in the wrong bin, somebody will look. Yeah. Like, you know that you uncultured, careless, insensitive, irresponsible person. Just like in Hong Kong, they'll glare at you if you're walking too slow. In Australia, if you're not being diligent about your recycling, it can be such a positive contribution to total mind. Like really, when I go there, I feel so ashamed that we really don't do as much. And it's so easy to do. The system is set up, you just do it. Okay, it takes little. Instead of 30 seconds, it takes 2 minutes. This goes here, this goes here, this. But it's fine, right? Shreyas. Am I being daring enough to do? Am I being dynamic enough to do? Something, again, I'll give a simple example. We can be so lost in our own worlds. We can walk through a shopping mall, a supermarket, or a street, not notice anybody else, because we have our wonderful phones to keep us distracted. And then if we're not on our phones, we're in our wonderful daydream to keep us distracted. Or we can greet and acknowledge those who are not on their phones. But that's effort. It's effort. Are we dynamic enough to do it? Yeah. In Asia, we have so many watchmen or people opening the door for us. So easy to just totally ignore them. We important people, right? And we're so busy. We can acknowledge them. We can smile. We can thank them. It's effort. Is it that hard also? Yeah. Actually, here they're so sweet. They're so sweet in greeting us. Yeah. Their collective mind here is genuinely very hospitable. Very humble, very welcoming. Yeah. Are we responding the same way? Okay. Shreyas. Little effort needed, not that much. But it's Shreyas. Why? Why is that Shreyas? Because we all know people are more important than anything else. We already know, right? I don't have to tell you. People are more important than money? All of you will say yes. Yeah. Then are we giving 2 seconds to people? My people. My people I give to. Then that's not Shreyas. Yeah. Also another very, very beautiful thing when I was researching ourselves. I was researching on love. Pujya Gurudev's I Love You Letters book, I was helping to reformat and restructure it to make it a little bit more current and applicable. And often we feel, in the book, I've mentioned previously also, I think at that workshop that we did, we feel that with certain people, I will do. With the rest, I don't have to do. But it doesn't work that way. Whoever we are with all people. It's like lemon. Lemon isn't sour to most people and sweet to 2-3. It will be sour to all people. Whatever's our nature, that's what will come out. So even with the ones we really love and want to be really nice with, unless we that way with other people also, we won't be that way with the ones we want to be. And so every action that we do, when we talk about Shreyas, yes, it's for everyone else as well, and the global and the total mind, but it's also about creating who I am. Yeah. It's like when we learn something new and you have to practice it and practice it and practice it, and then it becomes automatic. How automatic is it for you to unlock your phone? Why? Because apparently we do it something like 200 times a day. So easy, right? But when it's a new iOS and they've changed something, then suddenly you stop. Now what to do? If we do something regularly, it's autopilot. When we want to be attentive to the ones we love, we have to be attentive all the time. So that when we're with the ones we love, it's autopilot. When we want to be patient with ourselves, when we're learning something new, we have to be patient with everyone else. This is also very interesting. We think we're different with ourselves than we are to other people, but it's not possible. We treat ourselves the same way we treat other people. When we harsh on ourselves, we will be harsh on other people. If I want to be gentle on myself, I have to learn to be gentle with other people. If I want to be supportive of myself, I have to be supportive of other people. If I want to be supportive of the ones I love, I have to be supportive with all people. We are not compartments. We are whole beings. And so when we, with one person, our whole being is with this person. Then we with the next being, our whole being is with this person. And you might say, no, I'm different with different people. Yes. Our synergy and our energy with different people might be different because personalities are reacting with personalities. Yeah? Chemistry reacting with chemistry. But the essence of who we are doesn't change. So with someone I like, I might be a little bit more casual, a little bit more forgiving. But if I'm very strict with myself, even with that person that I like, that I'm a little bit casual and easygoing with, it will come out. They turn up late for an event and watch. Or they forget to bring something I told them to bring, it will come out. So yes, we're not totally the same. But whatever we are will come out. There's a saying in Italy, I don't know Italian, so I'm going to give you the English version of it. If you eat garlic, everyone can smell it. And they'll be able to smell it on your mouth. I mean, Italians eat a lot of garlic, right? So it's a phase that goes in. It's like every day. Okay. Meaning, whatever I am inside comes out. Because, I mean, we may not be aware of it, but once we've eaten something, it becomes our body odor also. We smell differently based on what we eat. We don't need to go into it that much. Even just when you speak to someone, we can smell what they've eaten, right? But the point is, what's going to come out? Only what's inside can come out. If I didn't put it inside, I can't take it out. So suddenly I'm with you and I want to be patient with you, but I can't be because it's not inside. I didn't put it in. What is Shreyas? This is why people don't like listening to spiritual lectures. It's hard work. But the beautiful thing about it is, it's only hard work initially. Afterwards, it becomes easy. Yeah. Anything, even texting on the phone, getting used to that keypad. You take, tick, 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 tick. Then the kids, it's only hard initially. Yeah. So, anything. People even learning how to public speak or changing their accent, new growing trend. No, you all haven't heard of it? Neutralizing accent, because we live in a global world. Okay. So they practice how to not be so accented when they talk. Usually in public speaking, or so much now with social media, right? So much as, yeah. Sometimes we can't understand accents. I know I go to India and sometimes they're just looking at me. I think it's perfectly clear, but they can't understand what I'm saying because they look at the other person and they'll say, what is she saying? I can't understand her accent, and I'm talking English and they speak perfect English. So to neutralize it so that it's more understandable. It's not a vanity thing, it's actually quite practical. The way we say word has become so habituated. To change the way we pronounce something takes so much attention. Because you don't know when that word is going to come, when that sound is going to come. So much presence of mind. And then it becomes normal. We're not thinking about it anymore. Shreyas. Difficult in the beginning. Then the benefits are so much. So if I am a teacher and I do want somebody to understand me and my accent is an obstacle, then that effort of learning how to speak in a way that's more clear, I reach so many more people. And my interaction is now so easy because they're understanding me. Initially difficult. The benefits is immense. Yeah. To go against the current trend, initially difficult. Benefits are long, 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 long lasting. Puja Gurudev, where's his picture? There. Puja Gurudev in the 50s started Chinmaya Mission. It is written to speak the scripture. It's not written in scriptures. It was written by the educated people of the time. To speak the scriptures in English is a sin. It will bring you pap. In fact, even recently I heard somebody speaking on the Vishnu Sahasranam. And he said, I know I'm speaking in English, but I will take the pap because I want you all to understand me. I thought that thinking's still there, and we're in 1923. Yeah. No, we're in 2023. I knew I said something wrong. You all nicely agreed. We're in 2023 and that thinking is still there in traditional ashrams and villages in India, that to speak in the scriptures in English is a pap. I mean, he spoke, but he said, I know I'm doing pap. In the 50s, can you imagine the mindset in the 50s? That if you speak the scriptures in English, you are going against our culture, you are committing a sin, was the mindset. Prior to that, to even speak the scriptures in a non-Sanskrit language was considered sin. When Tulsi Das Ji first wrote the Ramayana in Awadhi, it was like, what are you doing? Scripture should only be in Sanskrit. Yeah? Gyaneshwar Maharaj wrote in Marathi, it was shunned. These are Indian languages, but it was shunned. It should be only in Sanskrit. Then it changed. They started talking in Hindi, in Awadhi, in Marathi, in Orisi, in Bengali, in every language. We had Gita, every language we had Upanishad. Gurudev spoke in English. And people cursed him, may your tongue split in two. This is in the 1950s. Imagine if he didn't speak in English. where would I be? I would not have reached. Yeah. My Hindi is Bollywood English, which is useless when you want to learn scriptures. Because when they speak scriptures, it has to be proper. You have to understand the terminology. This topic is so intricate. It's so subtle. If you don't understand the word, you don't get it at all. And I had watched Ramana Sagar's Ramayana long ago, that old one. Still very popular though, right? I'm sure most of you all are familiar with it. It was 24 cassettes, VHS cassettes of 3 hours each. I don't know if you all watched. I watched. Why? I have no idea. Actually, I do now. Because it's in Shuddha Hindi. I only understood what was happening by the pictures. Every episode of that Ramayana, a Santa Mahatma spoke on the glory and the beauty of the Ramayana. They all spoke in Hindi. I didn't understand a word. I usually forwarded. Watched the pictures. Learned basic story of Ramayana from the pictures. I mean, the acting. Y'all have all seen the series. It's a blessing to India, because so many people reveled in that story. One episode, the Swami started speaking in English. 24 cassettes, 3 hours long. How many episodes that are? You all please do the math. And one spoke in. It was the only thing I understood. 24 times 3, somebody please tell me. 72 hours I watched, and I only understood 10 minutes. Naturally, I fell in love with this person, who was none other than Pujya Gurudev. I was so thirsty for the knowledge that I watched 72 hours. Didn't understand. But I had to watch to find Gurudev. And in that whole Ramayana, he spoke only 10 minutes. Shreyas, what is Shreyas? If he wasn't daring enough to speak, even though everyone cursed, how to choose what's right? Broaden who you're thinking about. These great saints and sages, they even thought of the next generation. And many of you are parents, you'll think of the next generation. What world are we going to leave for them? Yeah. That's why this recycling thing also comes up so often. What world? But that's the physical world, right? Of course we must recycle. Of course we have to prevent the resources from all being depleted, because we want to leave this world is so beautiful with the mountains and nature, and we want them to see that same beauty. We don't want them to see garbage piles and garbage piles and garbage piles. Yeah. We want them to see the same beauty that we see. We want to leave physically the beautiful world for them, and then emotionally, what world are we leaving for them? Morally, what world are we leaving for them? To leave this world with the values that we know enrich our lives, we have to live Shreyas. We have to live those values completely, so that the next generation sees it clearly. Yeah. If we live the values only 50%, they can't see it clearly. They won't know what to do. They won't know when to do it, when not to do it. Because we do it sometimes, we don't do it sometimes. When to do? Shreyas is a huge ask. Right? What is Shreyas? Is me being my very best. Now I can be my very best sometimes. Don't ask me to be my very best all the time. Shreyas is, be your very best all the time. And why does it sound exhausting? Because we're not doing it. When we do it, it stops being tiring. I was in London earlier this year, and there was a doctor who had finished his rotation and then come for the talk. Now, doctor's job is intense, and post-COVID hospitals have all been strained. They have a lot to do. Plus, that rotation thing is quite long, huh? I know he went in at 5:30 in the morning. The talks are now at, there it was, 7:30 we started, or 8. I'm like you here. And you know, when I'm looking at the room full of people listening to me, some are sleepy, some are distracted. He's alert. I was like, how? How are you not tired at the end of the day when you have done such a stressful job? You know, I'm quite okay, Swamini ji, don't worry about me. Practice. He doesn't want work to be the only thing he does. He's just practiced being energetic after work and going out and doing many other things. Goes and plays sports with his kids one day, he'll come into the ashram another day. It's easy. He's not struggling. Is he at his best? Yes. Is it hard? No. We'll see it in the ashram also often. Sevadaras, they've, at the end of the day, sometimes Pavai Ashram, I was telling people earlier today, Pavai Ashram has more than 1 million people come in. Shravan was just, we in the middle, Shravan got halved. Doesn't matter if y'all don't know all these things. And then Shravan is going to start again. On the Shravan Somvar, which means a Monday and the month dedicated to Shiva, it's considered highly auspicious and more people will go to a Shiva Mandir. 1 million people come. Easily. From 3 in the morning. You think you go 4 in the morning, the mandir will be quiet? No, it's not. There's already lots of people there. And so we've got sevaks in the mandir. And they break at least 1 million coconuts in the day. Because that's how many come in the day. And then some of them, at the end of the day, like, they don't talk to me. And some of them at the end of the day, happy to do more. How can I help? When we think about doing our best all the time, we think it's too large an ask. But it's not. When we learn how to breathe properly, most of us don't, but when we do learn how to breathe properly and then it becomes habit, we're doing it all the time. It's not a big ask. Breathe properly. No, I'm tired now, today I can't. No. Some of us have to practice good posture because this is so, that is so, that is so. And then after a while, they're doing it all the time. They look like they just came out of finishing school. Why are you sitting so straight? Can you please relax? No, this is how I sit, I'm fine. It becomes so natural. To not do it is unnatural. Yeah. Shreyas, put in that little bit effort. Few months. It becomes easy, it just becomes who you are. Becomes second nature. So to do everything in one go is a bit overwhelming. So choose what you're going to work on today. Smiling and greeting people. And then that becomes second nature. Then being more patient, letting people finish their sentences before I contribute my opinion. That might take a bit longer. Smiling is easier than being patient. After a while, that becomes easy. Being a little bit more disciplined. With whatever. I'm talking more about virtues. I'm not talking about eat right. That there's 300 people telling you all already. Be a bit more disciplined with virtues. Virtues means things like having courage, forgiving, showing kindness, having compassion, listening to the other point of view, not being judgmental. Have discipline in practicing these. Because these are the things where we say, this is where I say, be my authentic self. No, don't be. If your authentic self is judgmental, don't be your authentic self. If your authentic self is impatient, no need for you to be your authentic self. In a group discussion with the youth, this is one of the girls, we were talking about equipoise. Equipoise comes up often in the Gita. It's to not react to likes and dislikes. So whether I like you or whether I dislike you, to treat you the same way. It's a huge ask. So one of the girls, and in the youth discussion we encourage discussion, we encourage questions, we encourage them to voice what they're thinking. And she said, but shouldn't I be true to myself? Shouldn't I be my authentic self? If I dislike a person, then I dislike them. Okay, if you want to be authentic and you dislike a person, then you feel you have a right to dislike them. Okay, if you're going to watch a movie. But if you're a teacher in the class, is it okay for me to dislike you? If I'm a doctor with a patient, is it okay for me to dislike you? If I'm a judge passing a verdict, is it okay for me to dislike you? Should I be authentic to my likes and dislikes? It's not Shreyas. It's definitely not Shreyas. What's actually authentic is for me to be objective. Giving in to my dislike is not being authentic. It's giving into likes and giving into dislikes. And giving into my shortcoming, because me liking some people and not liking some people is a shortcoming. Because we all beautiful people. We all lovable people. Be authentic to our divine self. That will see the person in front of you and honor that this is life. This is somebody on their journey, doing what they can. may be their best, it may not be the best, but that's what they can at the moment. We also have days when we can't do our best. We have months, maybe years, where we're not doing our best. Shreyas, do what is best. Be what is best. In our actions, in our relationships, and even in our desires, right? Want what is best. Yeah. At least start there. At least start with wanting it. And when I was much younger, I'm not very proud of this, but it's a good story to tell. Whenever anyone asked me, what do you want? I used to say, world peace. This is even before I joined the ashram, huh? So what do you want for dinner? World peace. What do you want for your birthday? World peace. Of course, it irritated my friends and family to no end. Right? Any wish, like when the shooting star, well, all this, what do you want? World peace. I sounded like those beauty pageant people. When we asked, what do you want? Is our goal that big? What do you want? How big is your desire? Is it just for you? Just for your family? Is it for Jakarta? Is it for this planet? Is it for humanity? I think when I said it as a kid, I didn't understand the fullness of what I was saying. Maybe I was aspiring for something, not quite sure what I was aspiring for. But this much I knew. It shouldn't be me. It has to be bigger. What do you want? And then, what are you doing to create it? And Puja Gurudev was so clear how to make this world a better place. He used to give the example of a wall. How to make a beautiful wall? Each brick that you put in there should be beautiful. How to make a strong wall? Each brick you put in there should be strong. What do we want? We want a beautiful world. And each one of us are the bricks. How beautiful are we making ourselves? How strong are we making ourselves? And our beauty is definitely our virtues and values. Our wisdom, our talents, our smiles, our love. So Shreyas, let's choose what is best for everyone. That's the path all of us need to walk. I pause here for today. You're welcome to ask questions if you have any. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Perhaps the million of the
Yes, correct.
or my daughter, future generation.
Correct.
So I feel that when they were catering to Shreyas, in a way they were losing at their own development. Like if my mom is always catering to, the kids and their welfare, she didn't have time to, sing her bhajans or, eat right food or rest,
Yeah.
take care of herself. But we, on the other hand, we have like kind of balance. We understand that, okay, it's good to think of Shreyas.
Mm.
At the same time, it's also important to,
Look after yourself.
yes, might be selfish a little bit. Selfish in the sense, selfish for myself, for my own development. Like if I feel, okay, I'm
So looking after ourselves is not selfish, and I know I've cut you off, but I understood your point. Looking after ourselves and looking after our health is definitely not selfish. In fact, when we don't look after our health and we lose our health, we're not able to give as much. Whereas if we maintain our energy, we maintain our health, we can continue to keep giving. So looking after our own health is Shreyas, and it's not selfish.
what I meant was that.
Hold on. Jyoti, hold on. You need the mic.
Swamini, I'm sorry. But what I meant was, I think you didn't get me. What I meant was that there is only that much we can do for everybody. The essence, we have to keep everybody in mind. But the thing is, for our own development, sometimes we have to focus on ourselves. And in a way, if we are a better brick, like you gave the example of a brick, if we work on ourselves, then in a way, we are also leading by example, So, I don't know, I agree 100% with what you said, but what I got is that the best way to follow what you said is to overcome likes and dislikes, overcome duality, and then see yourself in the other person, your own self, and then it'll be natural. So I agree, I'm sorry, but just too much of Shreyas,
Too much of Shreyas.
Like I see my mom, and she's been Shreyas all her life. And now when I see her old and I feel her suffering, I feel pity, I feel, Mom, I wish you had focused a little bit more on yourself.
Even the ones who focus on themselves get old.
Yes.
And even if they focused on themselves, when they get old, there is suffering in old age. You cannot avoid whatever is inevitable. When the body deteriorates, we will feel some kind of discomfort. And there is even the sadness of loss of ability, whether we focused on ourselves or we focused on others. I'll repeat, looking after our health is not selfish. But if we say it's okay to be a little bit selfish, what's little? Where's that little? We should understand the goal is selfless. I'm not able to be completely selfless yet. I still have some selfishness in me. Okay. We are all walking at the speed we can walk at. But the goal is selflessness. The goal is not be only little bit selfish. You go as far to the goal as you choose, as you can. But know that the goal is selflessness. Also know the goal can be achieved. Many many, many Santa Mahatma who have walked this earth, achieved. So many of our mothers, grandmothers, fathers, grandfathers reached so close, did so much for us before they left. Goal is selflessness. Is it hard? Yes. Do we want it? Maybe. Then we have to be honest. I don't want to be selfless. I'm finding it hard to be selfless. But goal is selfless. Don't bring the goal down. Never bring the goal down. Yeah. You take as many steps close as you want to go. You don't want to go all the way? Okay. But don't bring the goal down. Because the next person might want to reach all the way. The next generation might actually reach all the way. Let the goal be clear. How much I want to do, I'll do. Bhagwan's not compelled us to do. At the end of 18 chapters of the Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, I have taught you what is Shreyas. He uses the word again. Now it's up to you to choose what you want to do. Krishna doesn't end the Gita by saying, do what I said. Krishna ends the Gita by saying, it's your choice, Arjuna. And Krishna says, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you said. But choice was given. So when we read the scriptures, understand clearly, and then understand also Krishna has given us choice. How much you want to do, you do. The compulsion has not been put. In Hinduism, zero compulsion has been put because the laws will work. These are the laws, you do as you need to do, the laws will work. The knowledge is to guide you how to maneuver through the laws, not to obligate you. So goal should remain clear. Yeah. Is it okay to be selfish? Nay. Little bit? Nay. But I'm going to be okay. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukhabhag bhavet, asato ma satkamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.